Having due regard to the
2 weeks after the Supreme Court delivered its final verdict on the presidential petition by 4 judges of the Supreme Court, 2 petitions have been filed at the Judicial Service Commission seeking the investigation and removal from office of 2 Supreme Court judges, Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu and Justice Isaac Lenaola, of alleged gross misconduct. The 2 Supreme Court judges are among the 4 who annulled President Kenyatta's win in the August 8th general election, citing irregularities and technicalities that they ruled affected the entire election process.
August 2017 was not conducted in accordance with the Constitution and the applicable law, rendering the declared results invalid, null, and void.
The petition filed by Derek Malik Ngumu, the executive director of the Mombasa-based Angaza Empowerment Network, alleged that the DCJ was in contact with Busia Senator Amos Wako, a counsel on record for Raila Odinga, and James Orengo, the lead counsel for the opposition National Authority's sister Margaret Orengo. The petition led to demonstrations at the Supreme Court by angry Jubilee supporters who stated that the 2 judges are ruled on the basis of self-interest, something that made the Supreme Court judges led by Chief Justice David Maraga come out for the first time and address the attacks by politicians and also their security.
The Judicial Service Commission notes with dismay that the Inspector General of Police, who is expected to provide security to all government facilities, has repeatedly ignored calls to act, exposing judicial officers, property, and litigants to danger. The judiciary is an arm of government equal to the executive and the legislature.
Maraga also had something for the political class.
If leaders are tired of having a strong and independent judiciary, they should call a referendum and abolish it altogether. Before that happens, the judiciary will continue to discharge its mandate in accordance with the Constitution and the individual oaths of office. The judiciary has not and will never seek to direct the other arms of government about how to perform their functions. In the same vein, we will not allow anybody to dictate to us how to discharge our mandate as given by the people of Kenya under the Constitution.
After this election was annulled on September 1st, President Kenyatta said he would accept the Supreme Court judgment, but vowed that the issue will be revisited in a move interpreted to mean that the judiciary will come under attack from Jubilee following the historic ruling.
These attacks have become even more aggressive, culminating in lengthy and uninterrupted demonstrations right outside the Supreme Court building yesterday and today. Whereas we recognize and respect the rights of citizens to picket as provided in the Constitution, these demonstrations are bordered on violence and are clearly intended to intimidate the judiciary and the individual judges. Further,
last week, Nyeri Town MP Ngonjiri Wambogo filed a petition at the JSC seeking the removal of Chief Justice David Maraga for alleged orchestration of a judicial coup, but he later withdrew it following sustained pressure from Jubilee lawmakers, including President Uhuru Kenyatta, who told me the case was ill-timed. 4 Supreme Court judges, namely Chief Justice David Maraga, Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu, Justice Isaac Lenaola, and Justice Smokin Wanjala, invalidated President Kenyatta's win, in which he garnered 54% of the total votes cast, surpassing the 50% vote needed to win the presidency. The opposition had filed the petition in court, where it was revealed that the election management system was tampered with, in which 10,000 polling stations were affected, thus the nullification of the polls. After the nullification of President Uhuru Kenyatta's win on September 1st, for the first time, Chief Justice David Maraga has come out and explained that the security of the 4 judges of the Supreme Court is at risk, and now calls upon every Kenyan to stand up for the independence of the judiciary. He also stated that he is ready to face the consequences of following the Constitution of Kenya. And measure the Supreme Court buildings, Nairobi.